Hello everyone, the Klaus here, and today guys, I'm not gonna review an Exoforce set, nor a Bionicle set, but more like a Megabloks set. So for those who don't know, it's it's a brand which also released some construction toys, like Legos in fact, and well, you may remind them because they launched a team in 2002 which was called Megabloks Dragons, so which take part in a fantasy medieval universe with armies of knights and dragons and castles, and it was really good in fact, and it's quite ended in 2008 or 2009, I don't really remember, but well, in 2010 Megabloks decided to reboot, if I can say, this team in fact in a more futuristic way, and here we go today to review one of these sets of this new reboot, if I can say, this new relaunch, and this is called Dragons Universe. So, excuse me, here's for the box. Just gonna adjust this and it's gonna be alright. Okay, here we go. So Dragons Universe, and this set is called the Rapid Fire Dragon Fighters. Well, okay. So as you can see, well, you got one dragon and one ship included. It's white and white here. Also, yes, we're gonna see that later, of course. So here you have your dragon, excuse me, and your ship. Here you got some gimmicks I'm gonna explain later, of course. And you can see the box is quite silverish. You can see it's reflect in fact it's reflect my desk in fact, so it's really clear, really light in terms of colors and stuff like that, so it's really an interesting box, and it's really eye-catching, I have to say. Seriously, they've really done a really good job on this box, but well, Megabloks was really known for making some really interesting packaging for their toys, and well, here we go again. It's really again a really cool packaging. So, on the side you can see you got your minifig, we're gonna see that later, and the dragons, the dragon at least. We're gonna turn this on the back. So, for those from the price of this stuff, I found my one at 25 euros, but that was at the toy store which sells their toys, well, maybe at an higher price in fact, so you might find this set at well, $20 or 20 euros, I think. I think it might be possible. So here we go. So you got another view of the ship, which is called the Iron Spark, as you can clearly see, and also you can see the name of our minifig, which is called the Captain Decimus. And of course, yes, you have to know that on this new team there is the human versus the dragons. So the dragons are called the Predators, and we got Bloodwings, and the humans, which I think are the good guys, of course, are called the Aliens. Right there. You also got the gimmicks right here. You're gonna see later with the handle, and here you got all the set of this team. In fact, of this brand. So in fact, nothing really interesting because it's most of all dragons in eggs. So you got 4 dragons in 4 big eggs, 2 little dragons in 3 little dragons in 3 little eggs, and also 3 minifigs with their little ships. And well, in fact, you just got 3 ships for the humans. So no big headquarters, stuff like that. So I'm quite disappointed for this that there is no, in fact, headquarters or base or stuff like that. But well, that's another problem. So that's all for the box, I think. So really pleasant to see, really pleasant to look at, with really bright and light colors. So colorful, quite cool. And now we go for the instruction booklet. Excuse me. So you've got the same pictures as the one of the front of the box, of course. I'm gonna open that, nothing really interesting. The parts list, how to build the dragons and the minifig. There's some gimmicks, and in fact, the back is the same as the back of the box. And for those who want to know how the instrument works, in fact, it's really quite the same as Lego, because you have the part selection right here, the parts you will need to use in this step, and then it's all they put on the model itself, in fact. So here it is, for those who don't know, the Megabloks instruction booklet. So, well, that's quite all. So we're gonna begin with the set itself, and first of all, of course, we're gonna go with the dragon, which is called Blade Wing. So, okay, I'm gonna put off some books, like that. So this one, as you can see, is orange with some yellow colors, and also some, well, it seems some dark gray, but more like some dark dark purple color, it seems quite hard to distinguish, and some blue eyes. So as you can see, for those who are familiar with the Megabloks franchise, you may know the dragons, the plasma dragons. So here's one from one of the last series. And as you can see, the color is quite different, in fact, because first of all, the plastic is still soft, but less soft than the previous dragons, the plasma dragons. And also the colors is much more like, well, you can see you got really, it was quite a strange aspect of the colors, and we got some fade and stuff like that. It was really looking good on these dragons, and on this one it's quite different. In fact, it's more like they put well, tones of just orange and just do some little effect on some side, but it's not really as impressive as the old plasma dragon, I have to say. So here's for the plastic and the color. Of course, for those who are not familiar with this type of dragons, in fact, they are built like that. So with just simple parts. The same goes also for the head, on some ball sockets, so some ball joint, like that. So in fact, we got like that. And for those, and yes, this part is new. In fact, it's just to put the weapon on it, like that. So we're gonna assemble it. So on this ball joint, like that. So of course, there is 1 point of articulation per legs, the front and the rear one. Like that. Same goes for the tail. Up. Here we go, gonna link the head. And finally, the wings, which this time are quite bigger in comparison to the old plasma again. As you can see, they're really big and well, quite beautiful in fact, with their little yellow fade right here on in the orange parts. Gonna link that on the back of the dragon, and then we go with the weapon, which looks like that. It's a shame, I think it wasn't in a silver color, because just like gray, it's kind of look it's kind of look weird on the main color scheme of the dragon. In fact, in comparison to the color scheme of the dragon. And here we go. So of course we have 1 point of articulation per leg, as I've said earlier. So you can put him on his 2 rear leg like that, and it's all quite well, like this. But you can also put him on his 4 legs, of course, like this, and you can turn the neck around also if you want, and of course open the mouth, the jaws, yes, the mouth like that. So the only problem, in fact, is that the weapon kind of is blocked by the kind of the horn, if you can see the horn of the dragon. So you have to put his head down and turn the weapon like that. And here we go. So that's quite all, I think, for this set, or at least this model. So just look at the details of the legs, for example. So with this kind of hole, which kind of look strange. Some little wings here. Oh, and also notice one important detail is that it's got some kind of trans blue ball in there, which kind of, you can't really do anything with that, but it's still really a nice detail, I have to say. And it's the same on the big dragon. So of course this one is a little dragon, but it still looks quite interesting. Well, that's all, I think. So here we go. Personally, I'm not really a fan of dragons. That may seem strange for because I was really a big fan of the first Megabloks dragon stem, but well, I was really a fan of the casters and the different armies in Knight. Not really, in fact, I was not really fond of the dragons, in fact. But I think this one still looks quite cool, I have to say. But I think they could, well, I think there is this one better in this line. For example, there is tons of little dragons. So I think that in all the little dragons, there is better one than this one. But it's still pretty decent, I have to say. It's just that I don't know, maybe the colors, or, well, I don't really know, but I'm not really a fan of this guy, but still pretty decent. And you have one with the set, so I'm not gonna complain about that. So that was all for this dragon. Now we're gonna talk about the minifig, which is really impressive. There we go. So I'm gonna put this part right here. I'm gonna turn my webcam like that. Excuse me, like this. I'm just gonna adjust my cam, and it's gonna be okay. So sorry for the inconvenience. There we go. So here's the guys, or Captain Decimus, I think it's called like that. So you can see the color scheme is mainly dark gray, dark yes, dark black, not really dark black, but well, it's really dark gray, with some silver part on his shoulder pad, like that, with a kind of a little symbol, which I think represents his tire, and the symbol of the Alliance right here, the logo of the Alliance. And of course, it's got blue visors and some quite interesting antenna. I think that all of the guys from this team are quite different, at least for the head, which are different. And well, what is interesting with this minifig from Megabloks is that if you know, because they have already done, in fact, they have done also the Halo franchise, I may have said this earlier, so of course they've already done type of Space Marine with the Master Shift and stuff like that. So, well, again, it's quite a Space Marine, but it's really interesting. Even if it's not really original, at least it's really well made, because first of all, the articulation are really pretty good, so it can turn on the waist, like that, 360, but also each legs and arm got one part of articulation in the middle, like that, so it can turn to up to 90 degrees, like that. Also notice this little part on the legs here, which is really interesting and well made. And also the head, well, quite turn, even if it's still quite blocked by the armor, but still it can turn. So in fact, if you just want me to make I'm gonna show you the possibilities of this figurine, of this action figure. Here we go, for example, running like that. So you can only make a ton of different poses for such a little fig. So it's really great, like that. And it's all quite well, I have to say. And of course, the hands can turn, it's like Legos. So I think that's all for the fix. So yes, of course, it's all still like that. And now we're gonna talk about the weapons, because it's very interesting also. So here it is, quite big. This is made in fact with 3 lasers, like that we're gonna link on this gray part. And here we go. Kind of remind me of the guns from the old comics books, like that. And you may think it will not hold it very well, but still, look at that. I'm just gonna put him on him. Oh, excuse me. Like this, and you can see it holds it perfectly, even if the weapon is really big. In fact, it's really huge, but still it's have no problem to make it hold, even if it's not. It's quite heavy, so there is no problem at all. And I have not really to bend him on the back. In fact, you can clearly see it's all pretty well. And now here is the shield, all trans blue with the Alliance logo again. And I can put this in this hole in the back. And here we go. Excuse me, ready to fight. And if I don't want him to take his gun, I just have to make the shield on his hands like that on the side, and I'm gonna put this part on the back, and he still have no problem to hold. I have to say like this. So here we go. I think it's all for this minifig, guys. So, well, the design is not really original in the fact that nowadays we see in video games and stuff like that tons of guys in big armored suits and stuff like that with visor and stuff like that. But well, it's really well made. At least, even if it's not original, it's pretty well made. It's full of articulation. The weapons are really good. It holds really well. So seriously, it's an excellent minifig. I have no complaint at all with this one. Seriously, it's all perfect. So now we're gonna talk about the most interesting part, of course, of the set, which is the ship. So let me just put some more books and we'll be ready. Oh, well, it's quite good like that. So here we go. So for those who have been used with Megabloks sets, many of you may say that their sets were mainly made of big block parts and stuff like that. Well, I have to say that this one still have some big block parts, excuse me, but not that much seriously. So it's really an interesting construction. So how it works, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna explain this right now. So first of all, we're gonna begin with a bird with a big ugly work part. Well, it's called like that, but it's not really a work part, it's just for the Lego standards. Well, a big part which is this one with the handle. We're gonna see that how it works later. In fact, so it's really a useful part. So we're gonna use this as the main frame and gonna put some bricks on it. So some normal bricks, in fact, some plates, some bricks, and like that. Really, no specific parts, in fact. And I'm gonna just dismantle it for a better explanation, in fact. Oh, and also the clutch power of the brick is really good, in fact. Some people may complain that the bricks come really loose often with Megabloks in the past days, but they really have improved. Seriously, that this is just it's not like it's all soft and loose, so really it's really cool to build. Oh yeah, I have to put this off. I'm gonna explain all of this later on. Don't worry. So as you can see, like that, it's all of bricks, normal bricks. So the first thing we're gonna do is build this little jet engine, which quite in fact simple because it's just some big parts. But in fact, no, not at all. In fact, because we're gonna first of all build this part, which is full of little parts made of this little one, which is really useful for those who work in a snot, so studs not on the top, in fact. So all of these parts are made together to make this part, like that. And here what you get, so you build this twice, then you get a big part, which is this reactor part, with this little part which turns. Very look neat. And gonna link that together like this, no problem. Then we're gonna link that to these two, excuse me, sloped brick right here, two sloped brick, like that. Then what we're gonna do next? Maybe I have to. Well, no, in fact. Oh yes, I know what I was supposed to do. So excuse me. Oh, well, I think that's not really a problem. So I'm just gonna put this plate right here. Okay, then I'm gonna link this part, which as you can see is again made full of little bricks, and also this slope brick to put the big chain gun on the side. So here we go. I'm gonna link all of this here. So of course it's big block parts right there, but in fact it was just if you look at the instruction booklet, it was, excuse me, well, it was really full of little parts to make, in fact. So I guess I'm just gonna have to make this old. Well, I think it's work like that. Oh yeah, here we go. Excuse me. So that's all for this. Now the chain gun right here, the second one. So how it works with some little hose pipe really neat in light blue. So it doesn't turn, in fact, just a big block part, a big node. We're gonna link that on the side here on the reactor. Now we're gonna finish that with this slope brick, and this one with no stickers, in fact, at all. Well, I'm gonna put this first. No sticker at all on this one right here. Oh, excuse me. And finally, like that. I think that's all quite good. Well, it may have some problem, but I think it's due because I just destroy it in not a proper way, I have to say, like that. And here we go with this part finally with the little Alliance logo on it. And here we go. Look like that. Next, you have the cockpit part, which is here, and this time again, it's made with a big part, which is really look cool, in fact, here. But the seats are made individually, so I'm gonna, well, you see the bottom part here. Here for the seat, really a nice mold again, I have to say. Excuse me. Yes, so this part also, the nose of the ship again, is a big part. Then you got the little one screen right there. Also notice the little details right there. This mold, and again also this part which separates the feet, in fact, with two. Well, not the feet, but the legs, excuse me. Here we go, and finally we're gonna add this missile launcher, I'm gonna explain later. And we're done, in fact. We are done with this model. Excuse me, like that. So how it works, we're gonna maybe put the, no, I'm gonna put the minifig later. So, and yes, and finally also, and I have not said that earlier, but in the first stage of the building, we have put this connector part right there, and at the end of the building, we're gonna put these big wings with a budget at this side and link them together. So you can move them, in fact, all the way you want. For example, if you want to make the wings like that, you can. But you can also make them look like that, or a more traditional way, like this, for example. So it's up to you to choose. And the next thing you're gonna choose also is how you're gonna put this handle inside, because we can see it serves the purpose first of stand, so like that, so you just have to put this on your shelf where you look good, but it also serves the purpose of playability, so I'm gonna put a rocket right there, because I just have to put this part like that, put my hands, and then it's like I have a gun, in fact, with a trigger for the missile launcher. Works pretty good, and also it's pretty useful if you want to swoosh around your ship like that, around your room and stuff like this. And finally, if you just don't want this part, you can also, so excuse me, because it's quite hard, like that. Nothing broken, nothing broken. You can also put this part like this. And here we go, this time it's hid, in fact it's hid between not between, excuse me, beside, no, well, it's hid behind these wings. And like that, and of course, here we go. This time it doesn't have a stand, and you can still play with it like that. And I think that's quite all for this model, so now I'm just going to put the minifig in it, and we'll be done with this model. Okay, excuse me, you just have to make him like that. I put the little one screen, and here we go. So the only complaint is that the two chain guns are like just near to his hand, so well, it's quite creepy for him at least. And with the guns, nothing spare, we're gonna just put this on the side and on the chain gun. And here we go, it's complete. And well, I think that's all for this review, guys. So I'm just gonna sum up what is cool and not really cool, but I have really a positive opinion on this set. No, I'm gonna put it in a stand pose because it really looks quite good in this way with the dragons. So, hey, stand still. Okay, so well, first of all, the dragons, I have said earlier, it's good. In fact, it's not really it's like plasma, but with more bland color. I have to say, not really much of the nice and interesting colors the previous plasma gets to me. But well, it's still okay. It's still decent, and well, it's a nice addition to your dragons collection, I have to say. Plus some really interesting details like this part, like the wings, so I really like and stuff like that. So decent, pretty good. Not that, not all that impressive, but still, well, still okay. Then you got the minifig, which is really great. Seriously, maybe I have not make it justice, but really it's splendid. I have said it's not really original or anything like that because well, we have already seen tons of space marines with recent video games stuff like that, and the fact that Megabloks also did in fact the Megabloks Halo franchise. So I think they may have taken their inspiration from Halo. They have seen that it was quite successful, so they decided to make me reboot the Dragon's theme in a more sci-fi universe. I think that may be why, but still, even if it's not original, it's really well made, and that's what it's important is that it's well made, well articulated, with fun, well, interesting. Well, it's just well made. Just I have to say, it's perfect, except for the design, which is not really original, but still, it's just plain good. The weapons also are quite interesting and quite cool. And finally, the ship. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was really thinking it was just gonna be a big bricks and big blocks put together, but no. Megabloks again has improved. They have improved on their minifig, and they have improved on their building and on their plastic quality, I have to say, because this shape is quite interesting to build. In fact, it's just little parts you put together, and it's all put together. You got this beautiful shape because the construction is good, yes. Even you still got some more burps, I'm not gonna lie, you still got some more big blocks and stuff like that, but still. And well, the finished design is really well made, I have to say. Again, it's not maybe the most original ship I have ever seen in years, but still, it's worked quite good. You have the little reactors on this side, the wings you can move the way you want, so it's really interesting also, this part. And of course, you've got this part, which make, well, it's quite sometimes hard to make it move, but still you have three moves in that: the stand move, the play move, I have to say, and the no move, the neutral move. You just have where you just can put this behind this wing. So again, in terms of playability, it's quite good. So well, I think you must know by now, I really like this set. In fact, there was no really big drawback. I really have no big drawback, and I was really quite surprised with this set, which has not happened in some times, I have to say. So, well, that's all, guys. If you have any question I have not answered on this set, feel free to ask them. I will be happy to answer you. And that's all. So if you find this set at like $20, stuff like that, well, I think this may be a good choice. I have not bought this set right here because they are not released yet, and I don't think I'm gonna buy this dragon because I'm not really a fan of just dragon set. But I may buy this little human set and tell me my opinion about, and yes, talk about this later when they will be released in my area. But for now, I just have this set, and I'm really quite impressed with this one. Megabloks just have fronts that have improved in all different sections, like plastic quality, construction quality, and minifigs again, but they were really quite good, in fact, for the minifig, because before that they already done the Pirates team, and they already got some really interesting articulated figurine. So, well, nice move, nice set, really interesting. If you have some, if you want to, well, I think you will not be disappointed by this set. And that's all, guys. I'm gonna finish on that. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and hope you have enjoyed this review. Bye bye.